in. I don't care about impressing your friends. Don't care about fitting in the crowd. I'll say it one time and I'll say it loud. I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't take dope or have affairs. Just call me square, 'cause I don't care. I won't do the things I don't believe in. I don't care about impressing your friends. Don't care about fitting in the crowd. I'll say it one time and I'll say it loud. I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't take dope or have affairs. Just call me square, 'cause I don't care. Complain, complain, complain. You're always the same. You will never change. All you do is complain. You complain about the things I cook. You complain about the way I look. You complain about the clothes I wear. And you don't like my hair. You complain because I don't work. You say I'm a no-good jerk. And then I go to work and you go berserk. Complain, complain, complain. You're always the same. You will never change. All you do is complain.
Come ride a little train going down the track at the junction. Woo, woo! Very cool junction. There's old Uncle Joe moving kind of slow at the junction. Woo, woo! Very cool junction. I will return.
Message deleted. Press.
From the Spring Hill Toyota Traffic Center.
You're traveling in Pensacola. Watch for a crash blocking the roadway on North Fairfield Drive at North Crow Road. Also a crash blocking the roadway, Pine Forest Road at Sharon Lane, and also at West Fairfield Drive and Mobile Highway. We also have a crash involving an overturned vehicle, Leroy Stevens Road at Hilltop Street. With Time Saver Traffic, I'm Lisa Baque.
This report is sponsored by Red Pilled America.
Why haven't you listened to Red Pilled America? I get it. You must have pronouns in your bio. Because if you don't, then you should be listening to Red Pilled America. It's a storytelling show for patriots. Listen to Red Pilled America on the iHeartRadio app. That's Red Pilled America.
If you see traffic trouble, call the Acadian Windows traffic tip line at pound 250, keyword total traffic when prompted. Acadian Windows, your hurricane protection specialists.
Now, here's your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website, dollar. That's dollar. Enter it now at newsradio710.com. The Uncle Henry Show, weekday afternoons from 5 till 7.
Don't draw conclusions, because if you do, you're going to be wrong. You can draw them if you want and just be wrong. I guess you all don't have any consequences for being wrong.
This is the Uncle Henry Show here on News Radio 710 WNTM. Thank you so much for listening to the Uncle Henry Show. I appreciate it. I really do. Whether you're listening on AM radio, which is the best way to listen to spoken word, or if you're listening on the iHeartRadio app or just streaming online somewhere, Or maybe even if you're picking this show up on your dental work. That happens to some people that live near Telegraph Road in Mobile. Whatever way you're getting the show, on your dental work, on an app, or whatever it is, thank you for listening to the Uncle Henry Show. I do appreciate it very, very much. And once again, here we are together, me and you, trying to figure out what is going on. What is going on in the world around us? You know, they released, I don't know, a couple of million, 3 million different Epstein files or something this past Friday. I kept waiting to see in the news headlines that they had filled up paddy wagons with perverts around the world that might have been mentioned in the files, but so far I'm still waiting. Still waiting. By the way, if you find anything in there, let me know. Would love to know if you find anything in there, in them Epstein files. But so meanwhile, when I stopped trying to figure out the Epstein files, I enjoyed staying warm over the weekend. That's what I did. I don't know what you did. I don't know if you got out in the Mardi Gras and partied in the Mardi Gras stuff that was going on all weekend, or if you went out to any of the concerts over the weekend. All the wild stuff going on this weekend. Whatever you did, I hope you had a wonderful time. But I did what many Mobilians and many Gulf Coast people did, especially of my age group. I was very careful about not exposing myself to the cold. Yes, just stayed indoors and enjoyed the modern miracles of HVAC. To the HVAC industry, thank you. Yes, thank you to the HVAC industry and the electricity industry and all them industries that worked and kept me warm. I appreciate that very, very much. Now, we got a lot we can get into on the Uncle Henry Show. I've got a few stories out of the Alabama legislature that I want to go over with you. I got some voicemails from listeners I want to go over with you. Or maybe you want to bring something up. Telephone number 251-479-2723. That's 251-479-2723. Email address unclehenry@iheartmedia.com. Let me go right quickly to a voicemail about today. This is one of those voicemails I got to play it today because this is about that groundhog. You know, today, in addition to being a regular Monday here in our lives, it was also Groundhog Day.
Roll Tide, huh? Well, that's what I'm seeing on the late afternoon / early evening news, I guess you'd call it. Punxsutawney Phil saw his shadow, so that means 6 more weeks of the winter, according to them so-called experts. Boy, people, they're showing some clown on there now. Feller with a beard, whatnot, got on it's some kind of a hat that looks like I guess supposed to be a groundhog's head or something. Have people lost their minds?
68-year-old Chris of West Loxley, thank you for calling in about the groundhog on Groundhog Day. Yes, today was the day where these poor, pitiful people up there in Pennsylvania. Yeah, and I don't say that in a derogatory way. I feel badly for them, these poor, pitiful people up there. What have they got to do? They live up there where it gets way colder. You thought it was cold this weekend? It's way colder up there. Now, we got Mardi Gras. We got all that stuff going on down here. What have they got? They pull a critter out of the ground. That's their entertainment. They had tens of thousands of people show up so that they could disturb this critter, this animal. That's all they got. We got Mardi Gras. We got all just think of all the things we got here on the Gulf Coast. Early February, you got your Mardi Gras with king cake and all that kind of stuff. Up there, what have they got? What have they really got up there other than pulling animals out of the ground?
It is my job this February, too, to look to the skies and report back to you that there is a shadow here on my ground. 6 more weeks of winter abound.
That's all they got. That's all they got. A bunch of people gathered together to see a guy pull a rat out of the ground. And talk about the shadow of the rat or whatever it is. I don't know what a groundhog is. I don't know if it's kin to a possum or I don't know what it's kin to. That's all they got up there. at this point, they should have many hundreds of years ago just borrowed from, they should have culturally appropriated something. I know. We're not supposed to culturally appropriate. They should have tried to steal Mardi Gras up there, because it would have been a lot better than getting a bunch of people up there gathered together early in the morning to see some guy pull a rat out and say, oh, I saw its shadow. Anyway, 68-year-old Chris, thank you. Yes, that is an unreliable way of predicting the weather, is did a groundhog see its shadow. Now, speaking of that, I did notice Friday night there were all these apocalyptic weather forecasts of Arctic blast aimed at us. The Arctic blast is surging toward us. We're going to have to move. We have a Mardi Gras concert outside. We're going to have to move it indoors because the wind, it could be too much wind. Friday night, during the parade time, I went outside. I thought I was going to be blasted off my deck outside. No, it was actually pretty pleasant. In fact, there wasn't that much wind. What's more accurate, the local meteorologists or some critter pulled out of the ground with some geek in Pennsylvania reciting poems over him? This kind of about the same. No offense to the local meteorologists, but the accuracy. Groundhog might be as accurate as the modern meteorologist these days. All right, look, there's plenty to get to. I told you I got a bunch of junk to talk about. I got a bunch of voicemails to get to. All of that and more as the Uncle Henry Show proceeds forward here on News Radio 710 WNTM. If you'd like to watch, you can look at me standing here struggling in the twilight of my career. You can look at that on YouTube. The decline of Henry visible on the Uncle Henry Show YouTube channel. Just dial it up on YouTube. Back after the break with more Uncle Henry Show.
From the Spring Hill Toyota Traffic Center.
Slow on Highway 31 from Spanish Fort to Highway 59. It's a 17-minute drive. If you're on Highway 98 from Daphne to I-10, it's an 8-minute drive. Watch for an accident on South Navy Boulevard at Commerce. Also an accident, Fairfield Drive, just south of Crow Road. With Time Saver Traffic, I'm Lisa Bakke.
This report is sponsored by
YouTube viewers, if there is any... All right, wait, before I even look at you, I've neglected to have my bumper music lined up. I've gotten into a terrible habit of not having everything ready to go. Taking too much time trying to get ready for the Uncle Henry Show, and I end up coming in here and not having the bumper music picked out properly. So just bear with me for a second. I'm going to put that bad track in there. Let's see here. What else can I put in there? Put that one there. Some of this, I don't even remember what this bumper music sounds like. All right, now, let me check the YouTube and see if there's anybody watching. All right, YouTube says I'm live on my channel. There you are, a small number of people. Rick Henry. Good to see Rick Henry, Bama Big Man. Mary Ann Phillips, hello to you, Roll Tide. Chuck, thank you, Chuck, for bringing your common sense to the chat. And you're talking about there's a lot of heavy alcohol consumption up there in Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania. I was thinking the guy, when I played the audio clip of the man pulling the rat out of the ground, or wherever they keep it, I'm not even interested enough to look into it. But he sounded so sober, I felt badly for him. And I'm not in favor of getting drunk with a groundhog early in the morning or anything like that. I'm not in favor of that. But I thought this poor guy, he's up there, he's sober with this daggum vermin, whatever it is, vermin he's pulling out of the ground. Varmint, as Ben Griffin would say, varmint. Stephen Breeling. Wow. Okay, Stephen Breeling looking in. Don't worry, I won't be saying anything negatively about any of the city officials on today's YouTube broadcast. Nothing bad about the city officials, unless they really deserve, or unless I find something out. I might find something out, but nothing planned negatively toward the city officials. Draken 812, the Alabama possum. You know what? I remembered the Alabama possum, but I think the Alabama possum was started by a couple of DJs or something. Maybe after after it's been going on for another 30 or 40 years, I'll start talking more about the Alabama possum. You know, we should just get our own something down here for people to look at. What creature could we have locally? Would it be like a nutria? Or maybe we could get, this is something I'd have to find the snake trapper, get him to reemerge, and maybe ask him what type of creature could we use down here if we're going to annoy a creature with this. Hello to Ben Griffin, Pat Nelly, Reagan Girl, thank you for looking. John Daniel. Oh, John Daniel, you got the flu in your house? Sorry to hear that. Sorry to hear that. There's been a mess of stuff going around these days. Larry Morting, hello to you. Tarzan, hello to you. 68-year-old Chris, Coast Guard wife, hello to you.
10 WNTM.
This is the Uncle Henry Show. You're on News Radio 710, WNTM. It's 5:20. News headlines are coming up in 10 minutes. If you'd like to call the show, you can, 251-479-2723. That's 251-479-2723. Hello, caller.
Good evening, Uncle Henry. Roll Tide.
Roll Tide, roll. Reagan Girl, what is on your mind, Reagan Girl?
Well, I just thought that I would fill in let me back up. Don't have enough coffee on board here.
Yeah.
Well, I was just going to give you my feedback on the poor little groundhog. You know, I don't know about you, but if someone yanked me out of my burrow on a cold morning, I would turn around and go back to bed as well. But
well, yeah, we would. Now, if we were groundhogs, we would probably want to bite some other species, some other creature dragging us out of bed or something. We'd be biting them.
Exactly. You know, I would just, I'd want to turn back around and go back to bed. But you had mentioned about Mobile having their own Groundhog Day, and I think I know what we could use.
Okay, what kind of creature could we use here?
How about a possum? That's what we could use. Okay,
a possum. Just have a Mobile possum that we would check with on the same day, and we'd have what would we be looking for the possum to see its shadow? Would it be like that, or would we come up with some other tradition?
We could probably come up with another tradition. I'm sure that Snake Trapper or Pat Nelly could give some ideas on what we could do with the possum. So Anyway, Uncle Henry, but you take care and have a good evening.
Well, thank you, Reagan girl. Thank you very much for your phone call. 251-479-2723, the telephone number here on the Uncle Henry Show. Hello, caller. Hello.
Hey, Uncle Henry.
Hey.
Hey, I'm a newbie here to Mobile. I've been here for 3 years, and I absolutely love your show. I'll get over all that stuff. And I just wanted to say, just like Reagan girl was talking about, you hear about possums, raccoons, potholes. And last time I called you, I was cooking a batch of chicken soup. And I just love your show, man. You are very entertaining, and you're very good at what you do. And I'd like to say thank you, because you entertain me I am the listener, and you entertain me every day.
Well, let me just interrupt. Just say thank you. I really appreciate your praise. Thank you for that. You've earned a place in my heart just by buttering me up, which I appreciate very much. But and I'm going to start imagining you whenever I'm talking to the listener. I'm going to imagine you as a soup maker and a listener.
Yes, I am. And the last question you asked me was, what type of noodles did I put in my chicken soup?
Right.
And that would have been bow tie pasta, and it was delicious. And I just can't get enough of you, man. You're awesome, and I'm glad you got your award the other night. And you definitely most deserve it. I was a DJ in Tampa Bay years ago, and on the community radio station. It was it wasn't like a big time thing, but potholes, rattlesnakes, and everything else. You kick butt, and I appreciate your disdain for Kiss, one of the worst rock and roll bands of all time. I'll leave it at that. And roll tide roll.
Roll tide roll, sir. Thank you. I appreciate this so much. I was starting to fall in love there when he slammed Kiss. I thought, this is excellent. Maybe we could hire this guy just to sit in here and say yes. Whenever I say things, he could just sit in the background and say, you're right. That would be wonderful. But unfortunately, sir, don't get up off your chair. We don't have the budget for that. I don't have a budget where I can hire somebody in here to say I'm right when I am right. But thank you for that. That's wonderful. It's always nice to be reassured. And I want you to know, sir, that I made soup last night. I made some beef soup last night. It has some rice and it has some pasta in there. I didn't use I used more of a spiral-shaped pasta than a bow tie pasta for my soup. Let me go back to the phones. Uncle Henry Show proceeding forward. Hello, caller.
Hello.
Yes.
Yes, sir. I just want to reiterate with what Reagan girl said. A possum is an awesome idea. I think I'd go with that. And what he said, I agree 100%. They had one song, I guess, maybe.
Good. I'm with you all the way here.
So all that being said, let's have a possum that we can drop a moon pie and then pull a possum out of it and
all right, so your cell phone was dropping out, which actually is even more fun. Are you there?
I know, right?
Okay, or there you go. Okay, so you say we should have instead of a groundhog, we'd have a possum, and you think the possum should be pulled out of some type of giant moon pie?
of a giant moon pie cake. I think that would be just, man, we'd make the news like we did with the leprechaun.
I think you know what? I like the idea. And if we could dress our possum as a leprechaun, then we would. That would be the ultimate.
Yeah, see, that's why you make the big money. That's why you make the big money, because you got great ideas. I'm with you.
All right. Well, sir, thank you. God bless you. What a wonderful call.
Well, thank you, sir. Roll Tide.
Roll Tide, roll. All right. Very wonderful. Isn't this wonderful? Some of Mobile's brightest and best new callers for talk radio. You two, the last two callers, you should really come up with a nickname for yourself. I mean, we could, whatever it can be, just wonderful. We have a new generation of callers for talk radio here in Mobile. And yes, I might be biased thinking they're great callers because there was a lot of praise there. All right, there's more to come. As one of the callers pointed out, one thing I'm good at is just filling time. And I will be filling the next half hour. Just stick with it.
Time saver traffic from the Main Street Flooring and Design.com Traffic Center.
And it's slow on northbound Highway 31 from Spanish Fort to Highway 59. It's a 19-minute drive. East on Highway 98 from Government to I-10 at the Bankhead Tunnel. It's a 3-minute drive. Highway 98 from Daphne to I-10. It's a 9-minute drive. With Time Saver Traffic, I'm Lisa Baque.
This report is sponsored by Allstate. Some people just know you can.
YouTube viewers, the news headlines are coming up. I was just reflecting on the traffic report. You know, I'd like to watch how they do their traffic reports. Because Lisa Baque, I get the feeling that she's not from around here and doesn't know how to pronounce half of the streets that she has to pronounce. I wonder if got to go to the news.
An urgent search in Theodore for a missing mother and her 2 young children, last seen Friday afternoon at their home on Ben Hamilton Road. Mobile County Sheriff's Office saying that their disappearance is suspicious, with signs of a struggle found inside the home. If you have information, contact the Mobile County Sheriff's Office immediately. We have the full details and your updated news on this story on Fox10TV.com. 3 people are facing charges in connection to a dogfighting operation in Van Cleve, Jackson County. Deputies executing a search warrant, finding 67 dogs, 2 goats, and a horse. 45-year-old Princeton Knox, 63-year-old Tracy Daniels, and 29-year-old Jashawn Butler have been charged with dogfighting and animal cruelty, among other charges. More arrests, we're told, are possible. If you have information, you're asked to call the Jackson County Sheriff's Office or Mississippi Coast Crime Stoppers. Lastly, on Capitol Hill, lawmakers are facing another potential government shutdown. Democrats are demanding changes to how ICE operates, and they're willing to keep the government closed to force Republicans to negotiate. A deal to fund most agencies through September only funds the Department of Homeland Security for 2 weeks. It is expected to be voted on by the House tomorrow. I'm Lenny Slagan from Fox 10 News and this iHeartRadio station. Log on to fox10tv.com for your latest news.
This is News Radio 710 WNTM.
Fox News, I'm John Saucier. President Trump says at the White House he's signing an executive order to create the U.S. Strategic Critical Minerals Reserve as part of Project Vault.
The first ever stockpile of critical minerals that you've been hearing so much about.
Over in the Senate, they passed a spending package last week ahead of a government shutdown. Senate Majority Leader John Thune says lawmakers are making progress on government spending.
The Senate has passed 11 full-year appropriations bills.
But the House still needs to vote on this bill. House Speaker Mike Johnson says he's confident it will pass and the government will reopen. House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries criticizing the Trump administration.
When will Republicans have enough with the extremism and the cruelty and the chaos and the corruption that has failed the American people?
Democrats want reforms in immigration and customs enforcement. America's listening to Fox News.
All right, YouTube viewers, thank you for looking. Hello to Sharon of Fairhope. By the way, Chuck, it is the full moon. Yes, I detected some full moon vibrations in some of the calls, and I think I'm having my own tidal reaction. I think the tides in my brain, the chemicals in my brain are being affected by the full moon, just like the tides. It's happening to me. And it's Lisa Baquet's last name is spelled B-A-K-K-E, I think. I think that's how it's spelled, B-A-K-K-E. In fact, let me look. No, I may be wrong on that. Let me look again. Well, it's something similar to that. I have communicated with her through email. Where she's had to email me traffic reports. Oh, no, it's B-A-C-Q-U-E-S. See, there's something wrong with the brain chemicals with the full moon. It caused me to misspell her name badly. B-A-C-Q-U-E-S. That's for all the stalkers out there. All right, back on the radio in about 10 seconds.
Team effort. Just go to iHeartRadio.com/teachers.
This is the Uncle Henry Show here on News Radio 710 WNTM. 535. You can also hear me on FM radio playing country music Monday through Friday from 10 to 2. I'm on 95 KSJ playing today's hottest country. Now, this week we're giving away a lot of concert tickets over on 95 KSJ. Shelby in the afternoon, she's giving away tickets to see Brantley Gilbert in Pensacola this Friday. Brantley Gilbert, by the way, is one of the artists that has been announced to be part of the Turning Point USA halftime show. You know, they're doing a halftime show with the Super Bowl this weekend that has Bad Bunny, whoever Bad Bunny is, and Turning Point USA is counter-programming with their own halftime show that's going to be on YouTube and Rumble and a bunch of other websites and apps. They're going to have Kid Rock, and they're also going to have Brantley Gilbert and some other people. But anyway, this week, Shelby Mitchell is giving away tickets to see Brantley Gilbert in Pensacola this coming Friday night. And you can win tickets by listening to her on 95 KSJ in the afternoons. Now, tomorrow, I will have your chance to win tickets to see Rascal Flatts. Rascal Flatts are going to be at the Mississippi Coast Coliseum in Biloxi, February 19th. I will have your chance to win Rascal Flatts tickets tomorrow in the 10 a.m. hour. Be listening right after 10 o'clock tomorrow to 95 KSJ to find out how to win those tickets with me tomorrow, tickets to see Rascal Flatts. All right, here we are with more Uncle Henry Show. Telephone number 251-479-2723. Hello, caller.
Good evening, Uncle Henry.
Bert, you are live on the radio.
Uncle Henry, I'd love to go see that Brantley Gilbert concert, but I have got to be on stage myself a few hours before that.
Tell me about it.
Kind of the purpose. That's the purpose of my call. I want to remind your listeners that I'm going to be at the Blues Tavern this coming Friday the 6th from 4 to 6:30 p.m. doing a duet with a drummer.
Okay. This is just you and a drummer now, and you're on keyboards. Are you going to be singing a lot, or is this going to be instrumental? How does this going to work?
I wish I could put together a show of instrumentals, Uncle Henry, but I'm going to be singing the whole show.
Okay.
And my drummer's going to be harmonizing.
Can you reveal just a couple of items in your set list?
Message in a Bottle by the Police. A couple of Elton John songs, some Boston, When the Stars Go Blue. I don't know if you've ever heard that one before. There's several artists that have covered it over the years. A lot of old 70s rock.
Okay, all right. So that's
Like that.
that's from 4 to 6:30 p.m. this Friday at the Blues Tavern. You know, I'm on the air. I really wish I could be there. I think I'd have a great time.
If it was like earlier in the day to where, you know, you weren't preparing for your show, then you'd probably be able to come hear us. But I will get video, and I will send you video of some of our songs.
Very good. Well, but Bert, I encourage people listening, go see Bert. It's Bert and a drummer, and I think you're going to have a good time seeing Bert. That's on Blues Tavern, and I've been in there. I was in there for a fundraiser sometime in the last few months. That's a great place to see music.
Yes, sir. Our fundraiser, I was supposed to play that day. My drummer and bass player were there, and our guitar player was a no-show. That's the only reason you didn't get to hear us play.
Okay.
And he was fired from the band for doing that. He said he was going to be there, and he didn't show up. And there are several musicians that I've worked with that did that kind of thing to me, and I no longer work with people like that anymore.
Good for you.
Uncle Henry, he is an awesome talent. He is an absolutely phenomenal guitar player and an excellent singer. But when you say you're going to show up and you don't show up, that's a deal breaker.
Well, what it has in that business, absolutely. Hey, when the curtain goes up, the curtain goes up.
Exactly. I'd love to have been able to play for you, Uncle Henry. And that was the day that I told my drummer, look, if these guitar players ain't willing to step up to the plate, let's just put together a show, you and me. And that's what we've been doing ever since, Uncle Henry.
Well, good.
We played gigs with guitar players and bass players since then, but they've got a lot of other projects that they're involved with. And so we decided to just put together a show, me and him. We've already done it one time. We're fixing to do it again. And I hope it's going to be a great show, Henry. I'm going to do my best.
All right. Well, that's this Friday, 4 to 6:30 at Blues Tavern. Bert, I wish you the very best.
Thank you, Uncle Henry. Thank you for taking my call.
Of course, thank you. Thank you, Bert, for calling, and thank you for listening to the Uncle Henry Show. Hello, caller.
Uncle Henry, how are you?
John, I'm doing good. What is on your mind, John?
2 quick points. First of all, the documentary that came out this weekend, Melania, is the highest grossing documentary in 10 years. Now, to show the disconnect between the dishonest media and the liberals, Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 10%.
Right.
People who actually watched it gave them a 99%. So this is another psyop. People have to start thinking for themselves. But the second thing, which is more concerning, this guy, Bad Bunny, is going to be wearing a dress, is into all that alternative filth, and clearly uses Luciferian imagery in his music and his shows. And the NFL, I'm so disappointed in, would give the biggest platform on earth to somebody this wicked who represents a small portion of this country. It is a total disappointment. And obviously Kid Rock's going to do his show with Turning Points.
Right.
And it's just, I just can't believe, you know, it's like they no longer pay attention to the people that puts seats in the stadiums. They want to push a radical agenda thinking they're going to be more inclusive. And it's really going to be distasteful for people, some of which who aren't really ready for it. You know, if that's really what you want to watch, that's your prerogative.
Right.
But at least let the public know what they're being subjected to, particularly children, because this was supposed to be a family event.
Well, that is the and I'm sorry to interrupt, but it's hard for me to understand how they. First of all, the NFL, it seems like they can do anything they want, and the fans keep coming back no matter what. They just keep showing up no matter what, even when they do these things that are pretty offensive. Now, I'm with you. I don't understand why you wouldn't want to pick, and I don't care if it's my favorite or not, but wouldn't you want to pick the broadest audience possible? Isn't the goal to have as many people tune in as is humanly possible? Wouldn't you pick the most popular artists you could pick and give them that platform and try to have the biggest audience you could have in TV history? Why would you pick a cross-dressing guy like Bad Bunny?
Well, in their jaded, it's Roger Goodell, but in his jaded and the other people's sick way of thinking, they think the normal people are going to watch anyway, and we'll, let's get this small 1% of people who don't even like football, but might be into these more sick, demonic, topics. So it's eventually you kill the goose that lays the golden egg, and we've seen it so many times through humanity. It's just sad because, the NFL, the product is really entertaining, but they always got to push this social stuff on us, and it's very disappointing. So, but thank you for letting me call in, Uncle Henry. I hope you have a great evening.
Thank you. I hope the same for you, and thank you for your phone call. There is more Uncle Henry Show after the break here on News Radio 710 WNTM.
In Pensacola, crash is blocking the roadway North Fairfield Drive at North Crow Road. Slow on Highway 98 from Daphne to I-10. It's a 7-minute drive. Watch for a crash in Mobile, Theodore Dawes Road at Old Pascagoula Road. I'm Lisa Baquet. Follow us on X, Total Traffic Gulf Coast.
This report is sponsored by
YouTube viewers. Thank you for looking in on YouTube. Let me see. I'm going to try and find some stuff to tell you about while I'm waiting to go back on the radio. First, I'm going to take a look and see if there's anybody still watching. Yes. Still watching. Thank you for looking through your computer at the Uncle Henry Show on YouTube. I do appreciate that very, very much. Now, let's see. What can I tell you about? I'm going to go right to the weird news file. Janesville, Wisconsin has a problem with wild turkeys, not the liquor, actual turkeys that are wild in Janesville, Wisconsin have started chasing down mail carriers. They've started going after kids in one neighborhood. They are starting to go out and block traffic. And the experts say that this happens in winter months from time to time in Janesville, Wisconsin, but this specific batch of turkeys is overly aggressive and not normal. They are normally not this aggressive. And they're giving advice to the people of Janesville, Wisconsin. Now, they're not giving them the advice of shooting them. Their advice is to make yourself look bigger than the turkey and walk away from them backwards while you face them. Now, are they really? Now, I guess I've not been around a wild turkey enough to be afraid of one. I guess, should I be afraid of a wild turkey if wants to come after me? I would like to think that even in my advanced age, I could take a wild turkey if I had to bite one. Am I wrong? Could they harm me? Do I need to make myself look bigger and walk backwards? All right, let's see. In Indianapolis, Indiana, there's an unidentified 49-year-old man who wanted to thaw out frozen home gas line, and he decided to use a blowtorch to try and thaw out a frozen gas line. He thought that he knew a lot about it because he is an experienced plumber, but now 3 people and a dog need to find a new house because he ended up burning the house down. So don't use a blowtorch to thaw out a frozen gas line. That is something we've all learned together. I kind of intuitively knew. I don't want to brag, but I kind of intuitively knew. Surgeons in Argentina made a mistake. George Bastow thought he was going to have gallbladder surgery, but when he woke up after the surgery, he learned that he had been given a complimentary vasectomy. He then got the correct surgery later. He got a complimentary vasectomy, and it turns out that this malpractice story has engulfed the entire country of Argentina. Apparently, you don't mess with people's vasectomy areas down there. They take it very seriously in Argentina.
This is News Radio 710, WNTM, an iHeartRadio station.
Uncle Henry Show, News Radio 710, WNTM. It's 5:50. We have news headlines coming up in 10 minutes and then more Uncle Henry Show. Now, let's see. I've got some voicemail from over the weekend that I want to get to. This is a call. This is a call from 68-year-old Chris of West Loxley. It was the first Sunday of the month, and that's usually when his church does a big kind of a potluck thing, and a bunch of the people bring food up there to have a big, delicious lunch after church. Let me see if 68-year-old Chris is telling us about the potluck lunch.
Yo, Tide, huh? Well, Uncle calling you here at 4:05 p.m. on this beautiful first day of February, 2K26.
By the way, yes, yesterday, beautiful. Today, also magnificently beautiful.
Out here on the front yard, the breeze seems to have finally died down somewhat. And the weather guru says it's in the mid-40s, which, relatively speaking to the last couple of days and nights, that's a dead blame heat wave down here, you know it?
Yes.
Anyhow, today being 1 February, as I previously led to, eating time at the church house when the morning services is done. And had a special today. Not only did we do the eating, the young man that was a preacher there back about, very near 20 years ago, and then in I think it was 2013 or 2014, him and his wife and children relocated to South Florida. He got a job preaching down there. Well, this year not only marks the 250th anniversary of our country, but it's the 100th anniversary of the congregation at Robertsdale Church of Christ.
Oh.
So our former preacher, he came back, spent the week, him and his wife spent the weekend. Children's done grown up now and got him some grandkids for the preacher and his wife.
Nice.
And it was an outstanding time had by all.
Wonderful.
I tell you what, it didn't think I was going to get to go. I was concerned about the water situation. Everything was a-flowing inside the house. I happened to step outside on the front porch and looked over at the outside hydrant. And I had left it to where it was a-dripping. Well, I did not observe a drip. I was like, uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
So I got down there and I turned it on. Nothing come out. So I called a buddy of mine up and asked him if he had any words of wisdom. He said, try you a pan of hot boiling water and pour it on the faucet. So I did that, and about 10 seconds later, it come a-gushing out like Niagara Falls. So there's a blessing for you, and I still had time to make it to church.
Wonderful.
Anyhow, it's been an exciting Sunday so far, but that's enough for me as far as excitement goes. Right now, I'm currently listening to, I just finished up. I didn't catch the last 30 minutes of Friday's podcast, so I'm now on Thursday's podcast that I caught part of. Enjoying that. It's miracles of modern technology, Uncle. Listening to the podcast of Uncle Henry after having had Greer's fried chicken amongst.
And then the voicemail cut him off, 68-year-old Chris. But 68-year-old Chris phoned in a very brief conclusion to his message.
Uncle, this is a continuation of my previous long-winded call, and I'll be brief. I was just going to mention that Miss Margaret had me load up on the bread pudding. Oh, Lord have mercy. Between that and all the other side dishes, tater casserole, chicken and dumplings, Greer's fried chicken, etc. Oh, man. Hope your weekend has been as enjoyable as mine. You have a good one now, you hear?
68-year-old Chris, thank you for giving me a slice of your idyllic life there in West Loxley, Alabama. Your wonderful time with your church family. And, one way of witnessing to people is by talking about how much you enjoy your time with your church family. Don't discount the power in that. And just, yes, salvation, we want salvation, accepting Jesus Christ as our personal Savior and all that kind of stuff. When you're witnessing, though, this is a form of witnessing. When you're truthfully and authentically enjoying that companionship, that fellowship with your fellow Christians, and you talk about it. I mean, I can tell that you had a wonderful time there with your church family. That's a form of witnessing. So thank you for doing it. And there's more to come. I got some news items I want to go over. All that and more coming up as the Uncle Henry Show continues. After the Fox News coming up here on News Radio 710 WNTM.
I'm Chad Pergram with the Speaker's Lobby. The Supreme Court recently rendered a decision making it easier for candidates to challenge voting laws, even if they ultimately win their election. In a 7-2 opinion written by Chief Justice John Roberts, the High Court decided that candidates can challenge mail-in ballots received after Election Day. Roberts wrote that, quote, candidates have a concrete and particularized interest in the rules that govern the counting of votes in their elections. House Veterans Affairs Committee Chairman Mike Bost of Illinois challenged a state law which allows ballots to be received up to 2 weeks.
YouTube viewers, thank you for watching. I will be back tomorrow at the regular time. Have a pleasant evening and a pleasant tomorrow.
Supreme Court. The challenge before the Supreme Court was not whether Boss' challenge had merit, only whether he would be allowed to continue his case. The congressman's original lawsuit was effectively thrown out before it began. That's because a federal trial court ruled that he did not have standing to sue. With the Speaker's Lobby, Chad Pergram,